Seaside Supermodels. Yeah. What the heck is up, you guys? Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review, and this time it's of another big one like I said it was going to be. Last I did the Final Fantasy Play Arts Kai Prompto, and this time we're doing the Final Fantasy Play Arts Kai Noctis Lucis Caelum. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of names and weapons in Final Fantasy, and sometimes the towns because they're spelled pretty weird and they just have some weird names. But overall, I really love this character. I really love this game. Final Fantasy 15, go pick it up. If you don't have it, this game is worth it. It has a ton of DLC, and there's still more coming. And it also has online. So yes, Final Fantasy 15. I have the deluxe edition, as you guys can see. But go ahead and pick that up. I've been promoting the hell out of this game. They should pay me for it. But anyway, that's not what matters. What matters is this guy, the main character of the game. So let's go ahead and dive into that after we take a look at one thing. That one thing, of course, being the sexy packaging. And I will say Play Arts Kai has some sexy packaging, but the figures are not big enough for the boxes to be this big. That's just something I think, kind of like Mezco. But as you guys can see, got a cool image of Noctis right there. Warning, choking hazard right there. For people who are under the age of 3, you don't need this. You have to be 15 and up, as you guys can see. I didn't notice this in the last video. I didn't know what it was, but this is actually the Square Enix Productions logo. So for the people who watched my last video and saw that I didn't know what that was, now I know, now you guys know. But Final Fantasy 15 right there, Play Arts Kai right there, Noctis Lucis Caelum. Once again, I think I'm saying that right. All the stuff at the bottom that doesn't matter. Logo down there by ScreenX, nothing else down there that really matters. Right here, just Final Fantasy 15, Play Arts Kai, blah, 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 Noctis Lucis Caelum. Same thing on this side, nothing different. And then on the back, you got some cool poses you can get in. Well, one cool pose you can get him into. Then one with him in the sword. And then the other guys from the collection, Gladio and Ignis. And I have to get these guys. And of course, the most important stuff is on the bottom. The stuff that does not matter. All this crap that nobody reads or even looks over one bit when they get the figure. So, yeah, that's the sexy packaging for this guy. But once again, that's another something that doesn't even matter. Let's go ahead and crack this guy open. Now, straight out of the packaging, I gotta say I'm a little mixed on how I feel about this figure. It looks good, but I don't know. It's not one of my favorites. I will say I'm glad to have it because I do really love the character. He reminds me of my most favorite anime character. I haven't really looked into his articulation or anything like that because I've only pulled him out just to show him off in my other video, which was my Prompto review, and just to look at him a little bit. But he looks pretty good. There's just something that's kind of like to me, and maybe that's just because I'm not a big collector of Play Arts Kai. Once again, he's just another figure that I'm going to just stand on my shelf. But I will say at first, I really did not like the face. I didn't. I saw the fake version. I hated the face on that one. I saw this one, and I was like, it looks pretty good in the promo pictures, but at first, I just was not having it. But the face actually does look really good the more that I look at it. I will say there's also some very intense shading on him. Not sure how well it's showing up on the cameras, but like right here on the arms, he's really pretty pink, which, I mean, it looks good. It doesn't look bad. There's some shading on his pants as well, like dirt. But the way they did it, it's not spread out. It's just kind of on one thin line, which is like, okay. So he just threw dirt on one part of his leg. I don't know. The shading just looks a little weird. But it's also right here in the pockets of these. And it just seems a little unnecessary. That's just me. Not nitpicking, not knocking the figure. I love it when they add extra shading. Don't get me wrong. Also, there's shading in the shirt, which I like right around here. It's a little bit darker. And then right here where it's wrinkled. So that looks really good. Overall, the figure looks good. It has some shading in areas I don't like, but that's common for Play Arts Kai because honestly, I was thinking about getting the Batman vs. Superman Batman a while back, and man, when I saw how much shading they did with those horrible stains on the cape, I was like, nope, not gonna do it. But I like the black on this, how it's matte right here, and then on the boots it's real metallic. And by the way, this guy is very, very difficult to stand. Very difficult. I'll get into that when it comes to articulation. But yeah, overall, he looks good. Like I said, just a whole lot of unnecessary brown shading because, I mean, this is black. There's really no brown in it. But shading on his arms looks extremely good. But overall, I'm not going to keep harping on that because I don't want people to think I'm bashing this figure because I really do like it. Honestly, the more I'm playing with it right now, the more I'm liking it. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put him back and we're going to take a look at how tall he is. Now, the Prince of Pain stands right at, I want to say to the top of his head, like 9.8 inches, and to the very top of his head a little bit over 10, so about 10.3. So that's to the top of his hair. He stands about that much, so pretty tall figure. I will show some size comparisons a little bit later, but I will say that I only have one figure who's in scale with this guy, and if you watch my Prompto review, you already know what I'm talking about. Now, articulation-wise, he can look up only about that much, which is normal simply because his collar is hindering it. He does look down that much, which isn't as good as Prompto, but it's still pretty good. I mean, it works for a Play Arts Kai. He can turn his head all the way around, of course, just like every action figure. He can move it a little bit to the side. He has some neck pivot in there, but not much. Diaphragm joint right here is pretty much useless because, I mean, you can't bend him forward because this piece right here would be pushing up against his pants, so it's useless, but it is there. His arm goes up that much, which is extremely good. I love that. Of course, it can go all the way around. It does have those ratchet joints, as you guys can hear, because it is Play Arts Kai. He does have a swivel right here. I missed that on Prompto, but I had to go back and add it. He does have, I don't want to say double jointed elbows, but I mean, they work. And he can move his hand pretty much however you want to. And that goes the same with this one, even though he's wearing the glove, because they didn't make it to where the glove hinders the articulation. That's one thing I really like. He does have a slight swivel right there, but once again, that's pretty useless because the shirt will be rubbing against the pants. And you guys don't want to tear off the paint on this guy because he is expensive. His legs go forward that much, a little bit better than Prompto's. It goes back that much. I don't want to force it, so I mean, decent amount. They do both go out. He can do a full split, which is extremely good. Also, Prompto can do that, but as for knees, they are double jointed and they bend pretty well. The joint looks a little bit weird, but I mean, you're probably not going to pose this guy in a whole bunch of stylish poses anyway because he cannot stand. But he does not have a swivel right there at all. His foot goes down that much. Fabulous. His foot goes up that much, which is cool. He does not have any kind of ankle pivot at all, so you cannot turn that, which is why I said you really can't get this guy in any stylish poses. And he does not have a toe hinge either. So when it comes to articulation, you're very, very limited at the feet. And as most action figure collectors know that pose their figures, if you're limited at the feet, that pretty much limits the amount of poses you can get them into. So yeah, articulation decent. For 120, not good, but I mean, it'll work. Like I said, for me, this guy's just going to stand on my shelf. Don't know about you guys, though, but it works. Now, for accessories, here's where he delivers for me. He comes with just one face, unfortunately, and it's just him with a calm look on his face. I wish they would have given him a smiling face because if you see Noctis, he's a pretty happy guy. Even when some of the tragedies in the game happen, he still manages to cheer up, but I wish he would have came with that, just like I wish Prompto would have came with another one. But Play Arts Kai, from what I know, only gives one face. He comes with two fist hands, of course, just like every action figure should. And cool, I got him to stand right up. He comes with two hands for holding his weapons, one for each, which is good. And then he comes with these two hands here, which are just like stylish posing hands. And glad he comes with these because it adds a little bit of diversity to the hands. Now, this is what I really love. The blades that he comes with. Man, this looks awesome. I don't know the names of any of his swords simply because I don't look at that stuff, but this, just look at that. It looks so awesome. And I will say these are pretty difficult to get into his hand. If you don't want to break them, I suggest you use the hot water method on the hands if you know about that. Or just warm up the plastic before you stick these in his hand, because you don't want to break these handles, because man, these look so damn good. Like, look at that detail, man. Oh my god, I really do dig this. And he comes with one more, which is this one, which looks even cooler. This is like a Soul Calibur blade or something. I don't know, but these swords, and I'm not sure if these are the ones that he gets from, spoiler alert, okay, you had time to close. I'm not sure if these are the ones that he gets from the gods or not, but man, they look so awesome. I really dig it. And these are possibly the best part. But also he comes with a stand, which doesn't really matter because no one cares about Player Kai stands. They suck, and honestly, I recommend just leaving them in the package. But let's go ahead and take a look at some size comparisons. Here he is next to some taller figures. And here he is next to somebody his size. Now, overall, my final thoughts on this figure are that it's I do like it, don't get me wrong. I love the character. I had to have this simply because I've spent so much time playing as this guy and bonding with the character, the fictional character of Noctis and his story. It's absolutely amazing, and once again, I highly recommend the game. As for the figure, it's just that it's not one that I really, really like, but I don't dislike it at all. That's one thing I want to clarify. I do not dislike this figure. I'm very happy to have it in my collection, but it just doesn't give me the same enthusiasm as Prompto does, and maybe because, I don't know, I love Prompto, but maybe it's a biased opinion. I don't think so. I try my hardest not for my opinions to be biased, but yeah, overall it looks good. It captures the character from head down. The details are absolutely amazing. Everything is there. The only thing I can say that I dislike about the figure is just the unnecessary shading. That's honestly all, but it's just that it's not a figure that I'm super excited for, but I will be keeping it simply because I have Prompto. I do plan on getting the rest, and honestly, I'm probably going to feel the same way about them. I don't think I'm going to be super geeked to have Gladio, maybe Ignis, because I really do like Ignis. I know he's not the most popular character, but I love Ignis. So yeah, maybe I'll be happy for those two and super excited to have them. But overall, I will rate this figure 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, the only thing I dislike is just the unnecessary shading and how intense it is. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that brown on the pants just, it's like super unnecessary. I do like the shading in the skin tone. I do like the shading in the face. It's done really well. I do like the face sculpt. The more I look at it, the more I realize that it's done well. Even his hair, everything other than the shading on the pants is done really good. So if you do like Final Fantasy 15, if you do like these characters, I highly recommend that you pick them up. I will say that they are worth it. And I will say this as well. They are pretty pricey. I'm sure you guys know that. But I paid $120 for this guy. And honestly, I've seen him going for way more. So if you guys want to get your hands on it, look at Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I see them for the best price. I got them from my boy Cloud X Figures. Shout out to you, man. You're the best. I appreciate it. But anyway, not to ramble on. Hope you guys like this review. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on everything you see listed in the description below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.